DaBaby has been locked up and is serving life.
On social media and explained he was in the store shopping with his 2 toddlers and their mother and tried to take my life. So he says he did what he had to do.
Do you want to win any of these items on your screen? If so, be sure to watch the whole video, leave a like, and comment the hidden message. And with that being said, let's get right into the video. When it comes to rappers, it's not just their music that helps define them. It's also how they act in the world, and oftentimes it's their personalities that get them locked up because they can't control themselves. The rapper known as DaBaby has been making all sorts of headlines this year, and many think that his antics and beliefs will get him put behind bars for good. So be sure to like the video and subscribe to King Trending. Number 5. Who is DaBaby?
Baby, stunner, we here, Funk Flex. We're gonna break the internet with this one.
If you're watching this video with no past knowledge of the rapper known as DaBaby until now, don't worry, I'll happily explain to you who this rapper is. His real name is actually Jonathan Lindale Kirk. He was born in 1991 in Cleveland, Ohio. Though he eventually moved to North Carolina, Charlotte, not much is really known about why he went into rap. However, the southern states have always had a fascination with the rapping arts. DaBaby just liked the genre and decided to get into it for whatever reason. So by the time 2015 came along, he knew that he wanted to make some music.
Protective of the Carolinas, I know how hard it is for a rapper to come out of there. I just want to make sure he's ready because I know more about his antics than the music.
He made his first mixtape that year in the form of nonfiction. After its release, DaBaby then went on a tear by releasing a series of mixtapes all under the label of God's Work. Then he did a Baby Talk mixtape series, $1 Billion Baby, and Back on My Baby Jesus, all of which helped him refine his rapping skills, as well as showing that he was willing to do the work in regards to making music and putting it out there for all to see, which is actually something that a lot of people have trouble doing even to begin with. Eventually, his hard work paid off, and he found himself working with Interscope Records.
Only female I follow on Instagram, I swear to God, is probably our A&R Interscope.
Let me take a look
and I just followed her. We just met.
A very reputable record label. Through them, he released his first album in Baby on Baby, which actually got close to the top of the Billboard Top 200 by being number 7. On that album was his hit single Suge, which hit the Billboard Top 100 in the 80s range before getting hot and making it all the way to the number 8 spot.
Close out with the Suge joint again, and it's ripping harder than when you first came out.
So people were really digging his music. In conjunction with being with Interscope Records, he also has a deal with South Coast Music Group, allowing him to work with both records on songs, which is actually a bit rare these days. Anyway, he's still young in his career and he's off to a flying start in terms of mainstream appeal, but with all that success that he's had with Baby on Baby and Suge, he's letting things go to his head. And that's when these things go wrong. Number 4, the Walmart event.
I don't know if you can talk about it tonight, but
I mean, you know, I've been advised to not go into detail.
To begin, DaBaby was actually in a rather fatal incident at a Walmart, of all places, when he was forced to open fire on someone in what he called self-defense.
Protecting himself.
And you had a shootout in the Walmart parking lot?
Was it a shootout or protecting himself?
That's not how it happened.
Okay. The person didn't make it. The police were called in on the incident. DaBaby was charged with carrying a concealed weapon, but eventually the charges were dropped against him. As to why is still unclear though. Apparently his testimony and evidence found at the scene were enough to clear him or substantiate his story. So you can say that DaBaby got a big break here. He took a life and got away with it in many ways. He wasn't even charged for the illegal firearm that he was carrying. North Carolina has very different control laws when it comes to firearms than many other states, which would have easily been something much bigger for him, yet he was let off. But what does this tell us? Simple. It shows that he's a guy who's willing to get violent and willing to go to the ultimate extreme in order to keep himself safe.
You saw how it went?
I saw how it went.
They got their ass up out of them. You stood your ground.
So while this may seem heroic or logical in some fashion, you have to wonder what would have happened if he didn't have the firearm. Well, we never know. This might be just a teaser of things to come when it comes to DaBaby, especially since not long after this incident, he found himself into another altercation, one that got DaBaby back in the headlines for all the wrong reasons. Number 3, the Louis Vuitton incident.
Holy, get away! You scary. Get away! The police get away! So scared, boy.
For the next case of DaBaby being more violent than you might expect, you need to look no further than May. DaBaby was in a Louis Vuitton store, and during that time he found himself confronted by another rapper named Cam Coldheart. The altercation part was captured on video and spread throughout the internet.
Or his team. Or him, nobody. His security, nobody. I don't have no problems with none of y'all. I wish all y'all much success.
And while the incident itself wasn't exactly shown, the results of it were. Coldheart was on the ground and trying to recover from the beatdown that had happened. As for DaBaby, the worst of the incident that he got apparently was a broken hand, one that he happily showed off at a house show, and cited all sorts of things about the altercation in a song to the crowd, as well as making all sorts of posts on Instagram highlighting things about the incident. Police harassing me, searching my cars, squeezing on my little hurt hand, and he wrote. As for the song he did for the crowd, thank God for letting me be. till my hand broke. It gave me an excuse to use this headset microphone. He joked. So what exactly do we glean from all of this? Simple. DaBaby doesn't really care about resorting to violence if he feels it's necessary, and he's willing to scrap if they approach him with the ill intent. Granted, we don't know everything that happened in that situation and what really led up to it, and we don't know who threw the first punch. But regardless of who started the whole thing, DaBaby ended it, and ended it in a very bold manner. He then gloated about it wherever he could. As I noted in my intro, it's usually the personalities of rappers that get him in trouble with the law. Now, like before, DaBaby wasn't charged with anything or arrested despite the police looking into the matter, but the rapper is now on their radars, especially in his home state of North Carolina. So you'd think his actions will eventually get him put away for a long time, especially if he feels that he's not exactly doing anything wrong. Oh, and to further prove that this incident that he had with Cold Heart wasn't something that just happened and he just walked away from it, DaBaby also pants Cold Heart in a sign of humiliation. So that proves that he's also willing to be mean to people in a rather evil way. Number 2, truth and lies.
Overthink stuff like that. Like, I think now, now that people see the way I put out videos and my creativity level, like, they get it. You get what I'm saying?
One of the ironies about this DaBaby situation, though, is that while he's proven that he's a guy who isn't afraid to get violent, he claims to be someone who is above such things. For example, he did an interview once for a website, and in it he describes what he is and what he isn't. Even the interviewer noted that he appeared to have great self-discipline, a direct contrast to the acts mentioned above. And when asked about why he acts a certain way, DaBaby noted that it was natural for him to do things like he does. I don't see the point of being overly serious. You're more marketable when you're willing to do whatever. People think it makes you less of a man, but in reality, it makes you more of a man, more of an individual the more you try new things instead of trying to impress the crowd. You don't need to put a frown on your face to get your point across. There's something gained from not being like everybody else. Less angry, less serious than you'd be under normal circumstances. More power to you. But that, meaning mugging, ain't the way I want to live. Personally speaking. According to him, what he does in his music and his music videos are meant to be comedic. And while he isn't the first person in rap to do such a thing, Busta Rhymes, Ludacris also did things like that, he admits that while he's doing the comedic style of rap, it's because it's what he likes to do. I really just do me. I'm not afraid to be creative and push the envelope when it comes to creating a vision for my music. I'm not doing comedy so much to break stereotypes, it just happens naturally. Every rapper doesn't need to be a tough guy in the video, with guns, staring into the camera like they're gonna scare somebody. It doesn't need to go down like that anymore. I'm making it okay to have fun with your content. So after hearing things like this, you have to wonder, is he telling the truth or is he just telling the interviewer what he thinks he needs to hear in order to help him get the image that he wants more than anything else? As the saying goes, actions speak louder than words. And DaBaby's actions have been spoken very loudly this past year, and he's made no attempt to hide some of the things that he's done. He even referenced the incident at the Louis Vuitton store in one of his videos to help poke fun at the Cam Cold Heart event even more. So that doesn't really seem to imply self-discipline or trying to be funny for funny's sake. People need to laugh. I know personally, I find humor in any situation, good or bad. Once you make a joke about hardship, you feel a whole lot better. Laughter is good for the soul. So I have to try to have fun with whatever I do and things I do for others. It'll all come around. It's true that people do need to laugh more, but there's a difference between needing to laugh more and laughing at things that don't deserve to be made fun of. And it's clear that DaBaby only has a certain viewpoint when it comes to comedic acts and things that involve him. If he's not careful, that comedic sense of humor will get him in trouble. Number 1, will he end up in jail?
It looked like it was about to go left.
Yeah.
But they ultimately walked away.
Right on time, too.
That is the question, isn't it? Is the path of DaBaby one that is destined to end up in jail? And really, it's honestly hard to say, but at present, he technically hasn't had any charges put against him, big or small, despite having many run-ins with the law. So he does have some leeway, as well as the chance to turn things around before things get a bit too hectic for him and others. The real question here is whether he'll continue to act in violent ways certain situations arise, or will he start to make better decisions so he can continue to do his rap career? Many rappers have gone to jail for their actions, and many more have been close to jail time because of their personalities. 6ix9ine is in jail right now because of his actions. Lil Pump has been arrested numerous times for various offenses, and all of that can be attributed to him not being very smart and not controlling himself. Even Cardi B is facing potential jail time in a court case because she couldn't keep her composure in a strip club. All of these singers have had careers that are far more successful than DaBaby's, and yet they're all in prison, facing prison, or likely will end up in prison. If DaBaby is smart and has the self-discipline that the interviewer claimed he had, he should try and use it to stay clear of the path that seems to be outlined for him. Or he won't, and he'll be the latest rapper to lose everything because of something stupid and be yet another cautionary tale for what not to do with your rap career. So, which one will happen? Well, only time will tell. And so there you have it, a breakdown of everything going on with DaBaby right now, and why what he's doing right now might end him up in prison for life. So, do you think it's only a matter of time before DaBaby goes too far? What do you think will be the incident that pushes him too far? Or do you think he'll actually learn from his past mistakes and just focus on making music? Let me know in the comments down below. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time on King Trending. A simple reminder on how to enter our brand new giveaway. We will be giving away either an iPhone X Max, the new iPad mini, or a MacBook Pro. It's really your choice. So be sure to leave a like, comment the keyword, subscribe, and turn on notifications to enter the giveaway. It's really that simple. Go for it.